Hey there, before we get any further, be sure to enter our brand new giveaway. We have an awesome framed Spider-Man photo signed by Stan Lee himself. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and watch the entire video. Thanks for watching.
Hi, and welcome to Piece of the Past. So I want to talk about today consigning to auction companies. So many times, as the largest buyer in our field, someone will call us up and tell us that an auction company promised them the moon on something. Well, of course they did. Auction companies don't buy your product like we do. And I have an auction company, so I don't have anything against auction companies, but you need to understand what they're really for, which they don't want you to know because they'd go out of business. And that is for an extraordinarily rare singular item. So in other words, you don't bring them a Babe Ruth check. We know what Babe Ruth checks sell for. You can check online and see them selling every day. The same with our inventory or anybody else. But a Babe Ruth photo where he's doing the called shot, that's very unusual. I don't even know if, when I just made that up, if it exists. But if it did, that piece should probably go to auction. That's what auction houses are for. Because then, if they've done their job and you've brought it to an auction house, by the way, whose past auctions specialize in that, then maybe you would make more money. But you have to be worried about fees. So many auction houses charge you for photography, for insurance, for shipping back and forth. That's just if it doesn't even sell. Then some of them, most of them, want to talk you into no reserve. And no reserve means you're going to sell your item for whatever it sells for. You have no protection. Oh, they'll tell you the moon. Give you a good example that's not 2 days old. In Las Vegas, our corporate offices, recently we looked at a collection a couple of days ago of documents that came from a little-known honky-tonk outside of Bakersfield, California. We offered them $1,000 for what was worth maybe, if all of the great pieces had sold, $2,000. Very fair, right? Because it's going to take a long time to even sell those. $150 items. You know, there were no big names in it really. George Jones was probably a big name. It was country honky-tonk. We're not talking about a Led Zeppelin contract. They said no. And the reason they said no, when they had inherited them for nothing and had no idea the value, was because they said, we talked to an auction house who said they'd take them that it's worth $10,000. Well, I could have said the same thing and put it in my auction house, and it would have sold for $1,000. And then I would have said to them, sorry, you know, auctions are unpredictable. Your mileage may vary. Or like you see on those financial ads, the future results are not indicative of past results. You need to be careful. And more importantly, here's something auction houses never tell you. Buyer's premiums come out of your commission. I know what you're saying. Auction houses everywhere. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, technically they don't. That's like a Donald Trump comment. You got to be careful of the technical part behind it, right? Technically, they don't come out of your commission. That's true. But folks, here's how it works at an auction. If you go in and sit down and you want to win an item, and you have a budget that you want to spend on that item, let's say it's $200, and the auction house gets up and tells you, and this is typical today, by the way, that there's 25 to 30% added on to your, and that's without sales tax, by the way, or shipping charges, added on to the cost of the hammer price. That's what you're going to pay, 25 to 30% more. That's the price you'll pay. So guess what? Obviously, the bidder is going to say to themselves, well, God, 30% of $200, my budget is $90. So they're going to stop bidding around $110. So when the auction house tells you they get to trumpet the price, look, we got $200 for the item, or we got, $220, let's say, for the item, with their buyer's premium. Without the buyer's premium, it was $140. It was actually a little below market, right? Because that's real money that the bidder's having to spend. They tell you it doesn't come from your commission, which is another percentage that you're going to lose for consigning to the auction house. Now, I'm saying all this knowing full well the hypocrisy, right? I have an auction house. We have weekly auctions on pieceofthepast.com with no reserve, and that's true, rarely with a reserve. Extraordinary items have a reserve, but usually at no reserve. However, we also have no buyer's premium, none. So for our consigners, they're getting the full hammer price minus a modest 15%, up to a certain point, 10% after that commission. So you need to factor all those things in before you decide. And make sure you go to an auction house that has a good reputation for paying on time, that's been around a long time, where they have telephone numbers they answer, an address that they answer mail from. The big auction houses. Don't go to one of your local ones or estate sales if you can help it, because those are going to have very limited audiences, and they're not even going to rely on the internet as much as they are live people in their room. That's just my opinion, but it's a good one about auctions.